The Mongol Empire, a name that still echoes with awe and terror, emerged from the steppes of Central Asia in the 13th century. Under the leadership of Genghis Khan, a brilliant strategist and ruthless conqueror, the Mongols united disparate nomadic tribes. Genghis Khan, born Temujin, overcame a difficult childhood marked by his father's murder to become a powerful leader. He instilled a strict code of law and discipline within his ranks, transforming the Mongols into a cohesive and formidable fighting force. Their cavalry, unmatched in speed and maneuverability, became the scourge of the Eurasian continent. The Mongols, driven by a thirst for conquest and expansion, embarked on a series of military campaigns that would reshape the map of the world. Their conquests stretched from the Pacific Ocean in the east to Eastern Europe in the west, creating the largest contiguous land empire in history. The Mongol Empire's rise was meteoric, a testament to the military genius of its leaders, the discipline of its warriors, and the innovative tactics employed on the battlefield. Their military successes were often attributed to their mastery of horsemanship, their use of composite bows with deadly accuracy, and their sophisticated strategies that emphasized mobility and encirclement. The Mongol advance westward into Europe began in the early 13th century with their sights set on the divided principalities of Kiev and Rus'. The Mongols, under the leadership of Batu Khan, Genghis Khan's grandson, crossed the Volga River in 1236, marking the beginning of their devastating campaign into Eastern Europe. The Battle of the Kalka River in 1223 had already provided a bitter taste of Mongol military might to the Rus' princes, but it was the invasion of 1236 that truly shattered their resistance. City after city fell to the Mongol onslaught: Ryazan, Vladimir, and finally in 1240 the grand city of Kyiv, once the heart of Rus' civilization, was sacked and burned. The Mongol conquest of Rus' was swift and brutal, a testament to their military superiority and the disunity among the Rus' princes. The Mongols, however, were not content with their victories in Rus'. Their ambitions extended further west into the heart of Europe. In 1241, the Mongol armies, spearheaded by Batu Khan and his generals Subutai and Kaidan, crossed the Carpathian Mountains, entering Hungary. The Mongol invasion of Europe in the 13th century sent shockwaves through the continent, leaving an indelible mark on the social, political, and cultural landscape. The sheer brutality and scale of the Mongol conquests instilled a deep sense of fear and uncertainty in the hearts of Europeans. Tales of Mongol atrocities, often exaggerated in the retelling, spread like wildfire, painting a picture of savage barbarians from the east. The Mongols' reputation for ruthlessness was not unfounded, as they were known to make examples of cities or populations that resisted their rule. The Mongol conquests brought about significant political fragmentation in Eastern Europe. The once powerful kingdom of Hungary was devastated, its king forced to flee and its lands laid waste. Poland too suffered greatly, with cities and villages razed to the ground. The Mongol invasions also indirectly contributed to the rise of the Grand Duchy of Moscow. The Mongols, seeking reliable vassals to collect tribute, favored the princes of Moscow, who gradually consolidated their power in the region, laying the foundation for the future Russian state. The Mongol presence in Eastern Europe, while relatively short-lived, had a profound and lasting impact on the region's development. The Mongol Empire, despite its reputation for brutality, was surprisingly tolerant of different religions and cultures. Under Mongol rule, trade routes were revived and secured, connecting east and west in an unprecedented way. The Mongol Yam, a sophisticated relay system of messengers and outposts, facilitated communication and trade across the vast empire. This increased trade and interaction with the East had a significant cultural impact on Europe. New goods, technologies, and ideas flowed westward, influencing European art, science, and philosophy. The Mongols also introduced administrative techniques and practices that were adopted by some European states. The use of paper money, for instance, was introduced to Europe from China via the Mongols. The Mongol conquests, though undeniably destructive, also brought about a period of cultural exchange and intellectual ferment that would have a lasting impact on European civilization. Section 5. The Empire Divided, Internal Conflicts and the Weakening of Mongol Power. The Mongol Empire, despite its vast size and seemingly invincible might, was not immune to internal divisions and conflicts. Following the death of Genghis Khan in 1227, the empire was divided into 4 khanates, each ruled by one of his sons or grandsons. These khanates, while nominally acknowledging the supremacy of the Great Khan, were essentially independent entities, pursuing their own agendas and often engaging in conflicts with one another. This fragmentation of the empire into competing khanates weakened the Mongol hold on their conquered territories, including those in Europe. The Golden Horde, the khanate that ruled over Eastern Europe, was particularly plagued by internal strife and power struggles. These internal conflicts distracted the Golden Horde's attention and resources, making it increasingly difficult to maintain control over their vast domains. Section 6. The Golden Horde's Last Stand. Resistance and revolts in Eastern Europe. The weakening of the Golden Horde's grip on power did not go unnoticed by the subjugated populations of Eastern Europe. As the Mongol grip loosened, resentment against their rule grew, fueled by cultural differences, religious tensions, and the heavy burden of tribute imposed on the conquered. Local uprisings and rebellions, though often brutally suppressed, became more frequent, chipping away at the edges of the Golden Horde's authority. One of the most significant challenges to Mongol rule came from the rising Grand Duchy of Moscow. The Muscovite princes, having grown powerful under Mongol patronage, saw an opportunity to break free from their overlords. Under the leadership of Ivan I, Moscow began to assert its independence, culminating in the Battle of Kulikovo in 1380, where the Muscovite forces dealt a decisive blow to the Golden Horde. Section 7. Beyond the Battlefield. The Mongol Legacy in Trade, Technology and Culture. The Mongol Empire's legacy is a complex and multifaceted one, characterized by both destruction and innovation, terror and tolerance. While their conquests brought about immense suffering and upheaval, they also facilitated a period of unprecedented cultural exchange and interconnectedness between East and West. The Mongol Peace, or Pax Mongolica as it is sometimes referred to, fostered a period of relative stability and prosperity across much of Eurasia. The Mongols' religious tolerance, a stark contrast to the often rigid religious boundaries of the time, allowed for the coexistence and interaction of different faiths within their empire. This tolerance extended to merchants and travelers who were able to traverse the Silk Road with relative safety, leading to a flourishing of trade and cultural exchange. The Mongol Empire's impact on global trade, communication and cultural diffusion left an indelible mark on the course of history, shaping the world we live in today. Section 8. Conclusion. The rise and fall of an empire. The Mongol Empire, a force of nature that swept across continents, reshaping maps and rewriting history, ultimately proved to be as ephemeral as it was powerful. The same factors that fueled its meteoric rise, military prowess, centralized leadership and adaptability, eventually contributed to its decline. Internal divisions, overextension, and the assimilation into conquered cultures weakened the empire from within. The Mongol Empire's legacy is a tapestry woven with threads of both destruction and creation. Their conquests left scars on civilizations, but they also opened up new avenues for trade, cultural exchange, and intellectual exploration. The Mongol story is a reminder that even the mightiest of empires are transient, subject to the ebb and flow of history. Their impact on global trade, communication, and cultural diffusion, however, continues to resonate to this day, a testament to the enduring legacy of the nomadic warriors who once rode out of the steppes of Central Asia to conquer the world.